Are we going full screen, Radhika?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Okay, so we are waiting a few minutes to let the time to for other viewers to join this webinar. We have about, yeah, the numbers are growing. We're just gonna wait a few minutes and then we will start. Well, I see some of our attendants, known names. We have students who are applying right now. I recognize their name: Alan, Laurent. Welcome, Naomi, Leanne. Hello. Thank you everyone for joining. We're going to wait a little bit more to leave the time for Lydia Tardis to join the call. Rodrigue, if you want to give me a go as you feel it's the right time to start.
Yes, good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Maybe let's wait another minute because we have more attendees who have registered to the event. So let's give them a minute or two and we'll start.
Welcome for those who are already on the call. I hope it's going well wherever you are in the world. We have a very international crowd with us today. Here we are offering this webinar from Los Angeles, sunny Los Angeles. It's about 20 degrees now. It's good for winter. Okay. Safa, hello everyone. Okay, so I think we will start the presentation. Okay.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, let's do it. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. We will talk today about the Vattel Institute of Hospitality Management, Vattel at Alliance International University. And we will more particularly talk about working in the USA. Through this program, we have great opportunities professionally. So we will address that, and we will also answer all your questions and have a more interactive presentation today, so we can answer all your questions and really give you a lot of information. I hope you will enjoy it. So let me introduce myself. My name is Natalie Player-Virovac. I'm the program director for Vattel Institute here in Los Angeles and San Diego. Today, I am with three other important members of the Vattel team in the USA. We have Rodrigue Colajanni, the president, who's going to introduce himself. I have also Jessica Ricord, the executive director, and Radhika Kulkarni, who is our social media coordinator and who is a talented social media and IT person who is helping us also with this webinar. Rodrigue, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you very much, Natalie, and good morning, good evening to everyone here. So my name is Rodrigue Colajanni. I'm the president of Vattel USA, I'm originally myself from France, and I've been living in the US for 26 years. And at the end of Natalie's presentation, I'll take over and we'll talk more about the different work opportunities, the work possibilities also that students can have in the hospitality industry, not only in the US, but in the world. And I just want to add one quick things, that our thoughts are going towards also everyone in Turkey, in Syria, after the terrific earthquake. There is a Vatel school in Istanbul, and I've been communicating with them, so it seems like they are fine. But I just want to have a quick thoughts for them, and if anyone can help through donation online to help the one who have been affected by this terrible earthquake in Turkey and Syria. All right, and next, Jessica is going to introduce herself. Jessica.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Jessica Record. I'm the Executive Director of Vatel USA. So my job is to oversee a little bit of everything and to make sure everything is going smoothly. One of the things that I've noticed so far about our webinar attendees today is that we have an amazing, diverse group of students from all over the world who are joining us today. So thank you so much for that. And that's something that we really is special about our program, is that it is students from all over the world with their own unique hospitality experience coming together in Los Angeles and San Diego. So yes, you're all learning American management, and yes, you're all, we'll be talking about placement opportunities, but you're also learning from each other and the different hospitality management experiences that each of you have from all the different parts of the world. And I also noticed that we have students attending today, potential students from all stages in the process. So we have some students who are already in the application process on the webinar today. And we have students who have been inquiring and getting answers about the questions. And then I see some new names too. So that's really excellent. So thank you everybody for joining. Please be sure when it's time to ask any questions that you have, because there's a lot of people who are new to this program and might not know the answers. So no, all questions are welcome. And there will be contact information on the last screen. So we'll make sure that if you aren't already in contact with somebody, that you can get in contact with somebody quick and easy. So thank you all again for coming.
Thank you, Jessica. Radhika, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Radhika Kulkarni. I'm the social media coordinator for Vatel. My role is to show the audience, show our social media audience about the program, about our students. But my main role is to feature you once you join Vatel, especially on our LinkedIn. So not only our followers can see it, but your potential employers can see you as well.
Very well, thank you, Radhika. And I would like to introduce myself also. So my name, as I said, is Natalie Plavirovac. I started Vatel with the president, Mr. Korayani here in 2008. I am French, born and raised in France, and came to the United States in the 1999. So that's been 23 years now. So my role as the program director is also to make sure that everything is going smoothly with our students upon arrival. And my other main role is to develop our partnerships with partnering hotels, so as to provide really interesting opportunities for our students, internships along the 2-year program. So I am also very involved in making sure the students have great job opportunities, which is kind of the topic of the webinar today. So anyway, let's get started with the presentation. You can raise your hand. You have the little icon to raise hand if you have questions. We will use this tool a lot for the second part of this webinar. So don't hesitate to raise your hand if you have questions. And during this presentation, I'm going to have an overview of Vatel for those who do not know Vatel very well and do not know the group. And we will explain a little bit the structure of the program, what to expect, and then we will pass to the Q&As. So let's get started. So Vatel Institute of Hospitality at Alliant International University. Our goal and the vision from the start of the founder of the Vatel Group is really to train the next generation of managers and leaders for the hospitality industry. So to achieve that goal, we offer excellence to our students, and we want excellence from our students. So it's a both-way process. Excellence means, being professional, knowing the industry, and doing their job impeccably, and at basically 5-star hotel standards. The balance between academic and practical experience is key, because, in this industry, you have to have the experience on the floor with the guest, in addition to a high-level academic standard program. The international exposure is another one of the big key of Vatel as a group, and for us, obviously, because the hotel industry is worldwide, and many students are expecting to have an international career, and even if they don't, the guests are really international in a hotel. So the programs at the bachelor level with Vatel schools request that the students have an internship abroad on their second year. This is one of the process. And of course, as Jessica was telling us earlier, our program is very international. We have students coming to Vatel USA, coming from all parts of the world. And the last point that is really important is, of course, the strong relationship that we have with the hospitality industry. Vatel is now well known throughout the world, throughout the best hotel chains in the world. They recognize the value and the professionalism, the excellence of the graduate students, or even the students who are doing the programs and training in these hotels. This is really important for us to have these strong relationships with the hotels. It's really a win-win situation also, both for the students and the hotels who have dedicated interns working for them, and it shows with the relation they have with their guests and among their team. So next slide, please. Thank you. So today, even though the Vatel group and the first Vatel school started in France with Paris in the 1980s, now there are 5 schools in France, in Paris, Lyon, which is the headquarters now, Nîmes, Bordeaux, Nantes, and we have other Vatel schools in Europe, such as Madrid, in Brussels, in Switzerland, and the group really expanded with now over 55 campuses all over the world. The Vatel group is now the #1 hospitality group for hospitality education. So here in the USA, we have 2 campuses, one in Los Angeles and one in San Diego. San Diego being the headquarters for Alliant International University. They have a beautiful campus just north of San Diego. San Diego is located way north in California, just at the border of Mexico. Obviously, the weather is fantastic, and you can see it on the blue sky here on the picture. So they have large classrooms and a really nice expanded campus in nature. It's really nice. And here in Los Angeles, we are just north of downtown, between downtown and Pasadena. The campus is also beautiful with these classical brick buildings and green areas. As you can see, this is break time for our Los Angeles students. The campus is shared with other big universities like USC or other programs, and Alliant has a whole building in that larger campus. So for those who like, active life and wants to have the opportunity to work with some of the best hotels in the country, and they like, a more city feeling, Los Angeles is definitely for them, even though this is a very spread out city. And so even when you are in downtown, just a few blocks away, you have little houses and gardens, and the beach is never far. So Los Angeles is a great destination. San Diego is more of a vacation destination. There are more resorts, hotels, all great hotels as well. Very nice 5-star luxury hotels like the Fairmont Grand Del Mar, who is partnering with us. The beaches are amazing, and the life in San Diego is it's very, very nice. There is a downtown in San Diego with a lot of clubs and bar and restaurants and hotels, of course. So to know more, just let us know. Thank you, Radhika. So now let's talk about the program itself. So the program is basically done in 2 years. 6 to 12 months, and I'm gonna explain why. To start with year 1, there is 12 months of academic program. So for a year, the students have courses. For 12 months, the program is divided in sessions. So every sessions, they have 2 courses. And during their academic program, they have work authorization. So they can work either part-time or full-time, up to 40 hours a week, while they are studying. So that makes the program very interactive, and the students can apply whatever they learned during their class sessions directly in the workplace. The CPTs are usually done in 4- and 5-star hotels. So once the academic program is completed, the students have a degree, an MBA degree with concentration in hospitality management, issued by our partner Alliant, because this is a dual degree. And then the year 2, Vatel will ask the students to complete a 6 months minimum internship full-time with the same employer, and to write a internship report in order to validate the master degree with Vatel. So after 6 months of internship, the students graduate with Vatel. However, their work authorization that they have for the second year is valid for up to 12 months. So most of our students, I would say 99.9% of our students, take this amazing chance to do their internship for a full 12 months. And actually, this is really when the magic happened, I would say, because, when you want to have a managerial position and you work only 6 months, you're not going to have the same opportunities than if you are integrated with the hotel for a full year. So having this opportunity to work 12 months the second year is really where the students can shine and get to really interesting position and managerial position in the most case. Yes, thank you. The next slides, thank you. So to go a little bit deeper into the structure of the program is organized in 8 weeks sessions that we call terms. So 8 weeks is basically 2 months. And so every 2 months, the students will have 2 courses per term, 4 hours each. So that means they will meet every week with these 2 professors for these 2 different courses. And when the 8 weeks term is over, then they will have 2 new courses with 2 new professors and so on. So after a year, the students will have completed a total of 12 courses. with a really interesting curriculum and very interactive classes where the professors are really engaging the students to start thinking as managers and using their own professional experiences to come up with their own ideas and participate really as managers already. The postgraduate teaching methods is, when you have a professor, usually in France or Asia or many places of the world, the professor comes to class and teach you a lesson, and then you take notes and you try to remember for the exam. But here at postgraduate level, the professor is going to ask the students 1 week in advance to do some readings or case studies or articles to prepare for the class and to actually learn the subject of the class. And this way, so you're going to ask, okay, why do we have a professor if we already know the subject of the class? So the interesting thing is that the professor is here to help the students integrate the knowledge that they get by their own reading and research and apply them in the classroom. And so that's why it's really interesting in the classroom, because the students are going to apply the concept that is the subject of the class to something very applicable that they can really apply in their life. I was talking with graduate students last week when we had some hotel visits, and he's now a general manager, and he was saying that he had this issue with the chef and his team, and he was just back to more than 12 years ago when he was in classroom with one of his favorite professor and working on exactly the same kind of issue. So the teaching is really long lasting, as you can see. So on the tuition side, since the program is organized in 6 weeks terms, the payment will follow also that schedule. And so the tuition can be paid in 6 installments, so every 2 months before each term starts. There is no tuition due the second year. That's the really good news. Once the tuition is paid over the year, when the classes are completed, then there is no more tuition, and the students can be financially independent since they are working full-time with the OPT work authorization. So on the internship side and the work opportunities that are offered during the program, as you can see, we partner with some of the best of the best. The W hotels, the Fairmont, the Peninsula, the Waldorf Astoria, Four Seasons, Marriott, and many more. We also include hotels that are more boutique hotel also, because some students like to have a smaller structure and be able to evolve and be more polyvalent in the kind of position they are looking for. So during the program, the first year, as you know, the students are in class, but they are also allowed to work. They can work part-time, which is less than 20 hours a week, or full-time, which is anything between 20 and 40 hours a week. That's the standards and how USCIS, who gives out the work authorization, is recognizing full-time and part-time. The first term, the students will not work yet. They will take the first 2 months to develop their resumes and rehearse interviews and get informed about the HR laws that are really big in California. And for that, they have this first course, the career development course, that is really useful for that. It really prepares them to apply to hotels, get more comfortable during interviews, knowing what to expect. So this first course on career development, plus the help that we provide to the students to connect with the hotels that are partnering with us, really makes it easy for them to find internships. The placement assistance is a big key of the program. We don't let the students, by themselves looking for their own job. They really take advantage of all the partnerships we have with the hotels. So if you are interested with the program, if you want to contact us and get more information, or if you want to start enrollment, we have sessions starting every year in January, May, and August. So we have a May session coming up. You can contact Arisa Masuda. She's our correspondent in Asia and the enrollment advisor for Vatel. You have her email address here. Of course, you can contact me directly. You have my direct email address here. So do not hesitate if you have any questions. If you want to get started, you can take also an appointment for a private Zoom meeting with me, where I can go into more details about the program and answering your questions. And the general information, info at Vatel USA. Don't hesitate to ask also for any information there. You can also connect with us with Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we have on this picture the latest group of students who arrived in August, and they are all placed and very happy with the program right now. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this presentation and it makes things a little bit clearer for you. Now we're going to pass on the Q&A part of this presentation. Don't hesitate to raise your hand if you have questions, and we'll ask Radhika if you can ask your question and we can hear you. Otherwise, Rodrigue, do you want to add a little bit to this presentation? Oh, we cannot hear you.
Okay, now you can.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Natalie. So again, thank you to all of you attending this presentation. I want to take a few minutes to really talk about what personally motivates me in this project of opening Vatel in 2008 and until now. The key for me is really the success, the professional and personal success of our students. So Natalie talked about the organization of the classes, the fact that you have, 2 courses every 8 weeks, every 2 months, and that you have opportunities to also train in one of our partner hotels. But really, this is my personal motivation, is what our students become after the program, and see them evolve through the year, getting managerial position. As Natalie mentioned last week, we did a hotel visit with our students, and we met some of our graduates who are now general managers, hotel managers, director of food and beverage, directors of rooms division. And obviously we have students who have decided to make the move and stay in the US for their to start their careers, and we have students who are also very successful after going back to their home country, because obviously they have on their resume an advantage, a competitive advantage compared to other hospitality student graduates from their home country, because they have the ability to show that not only they have a degree in their home country, but they have a degree, an MBA in the US. And as you know, the MBA is really something, whether it's hospitality or business, it's a branding. You have it and nobody can take it from you. And the fact that you obtain an MBA will allow you to get up the ladder in a company, in a corporation, much quicker and with better compensation, better salary. You have the ability to negotiate better position, better salary. So really, not only you come back with an MBA in your home country, but you also have up to 2 years of working experience in an American hotel, learning the American management style, learning the American customer service, which is very different from what most of you know in Europe or Asia or Africa. So really, that's the key. So my first thing that I would like you to answer, if you could please, all of you in the chat room, maybe just write the country where you are from, And if you have already been in the USA before, so just simply write the country where you are from, and if you have been in the USA in the chat room, so that, we have a better understanding of how many of you have already came to the US. So if you can please do that. And then I'm going to talk about the work opportunities. All right. I don't see anyone yet answering in the chat room.
Don't be shy. Yes, we have. Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we have Vatel students from Vatel Bukhara in Uzbekistan. It's difficult.
Excellent. So I see everyone is a little shy in answering, but I'll continue the conversation basically. So one of the key difference, someone from Bordeaux, one of the key difference in the working world in the USA compare, and I'm going to take the example of France, where I'm from, but it's mainly the case, it's all over Europe, is that when you graduate, most of the young graduates are between, let's say, 22 and 25 years old with an MBA. You get some work opportunities everywhere in the world, but it's very hard in Europe to grow up the ladder and get managerial position. There is a certain perception that says, that you have to be a certain age to become an assistant director, or to become a manager, or to become a director. And unless you fit the mold, basically, there is, the age and the type of position and the type of salary. So, a lot of human resources professionals, let's say in Europe, will tell you, unless you have 5 or 7 years of experience in a hotel, you cannot get to a managerial position. Unless you have 12 years of experience, you cannot be a director. And I would say that's a big, big difference in the US, meaning that in the US, everything is based on performance. Not on your age, not on where you're coming from, not necessarily also on the extent of your degree, what school you went to, but really what you are able to do on the workplace, how well you are prepared, how professional you are, how well you are ready to, to handle issues, problems, how well you motivate your team and your staff. And you can be, and we have students who, as soon as they graduate, and they're 22, 23, 24-year-olds, and right away can be managers of a restaurant in a 5-star hotel, manager of a front desk office, assistant director of the food and beverage director. So it really is, your responsibility to show what you're capable of. It's not the age, it's not the number of years of experience, it's what you're capable of. So we have, as Natalie mentioned, many graduates of ours who are only 30 years old, 29 years old, 32 years old, and who are already hotel manager or general managers of different properties. We have an hotel managers in a beautiful hotel in Beverly Hills, and the students graduated with us, I think it was in 2010, so he's probably 34, 35 years old, and he's already hotel manager of a 5-star hotels in Beverly Hills. It's not something that is unachievable in the US. So that's one of the key difference. The other aspect also is many of potential students, as you, can be, kind of worry about the financial aspect, because studying in the US, as you know, is expensive. The MBA program is around $26,000 for the entire program. And many of you may think, you know, that's a lot of money to invest, and then I have to pay also for my living expense. But one of the key differences is that when you do an internship and you work, as Natalie say, part-time or full-time during your study, you have that ability. We created the program that way so that our students not only get experience in a 4- or 5-star hotel, but also get a salary. Here, the concept of the internship is not as developed as in Europe or in Asia, meaning that a lot of hotels in Europe will use intern because they don't have to pay them a full salary. They don't have to pay them the prevailing salary for that specific position. Here in the US, it's very different. Even though you are still a student, you are still an MBA student, you will receive the same salary of someone working at the same position in the hotel, whether he's American, whether he has been working in that position for 5 years, 10 years, you will get a salary as an employee. So that's very important because to give you some context and idea, the salary of students working in the hotel industry in Los Angeles, it's in average around $20, $21 an hour, which means that if you work part-time, just 20 hours a week, you will make around $2,000 per month. If you work 30, 40 hours, you can make up to $4,000 a month. So obviously, you know, you have to be very careful and balance the time you spend between working and studying. The most important, obviously, during the first year is that you have good grades, that you have the ability to do your assignments, that you have the ability to prepare for the classes and study. And obviously, that's the number one aspect. But knowing that you can work 20, 30 hours a week, you know, in a 5-star hotel and get a salary will definitely offset and help you pay for your tuition and your living expense. As I said, you know, the tuition is $26,000. If you divide it by 12 months, it's a little bit over $2,000 per month. If you work 20 hours a week, you are able to pay your tuition with your salary. And then obviously the second year, when you graduate from the academic program, you finish your MBA, the beauty is that you can continue working from the same hotel. You work for already 12 months, and now they know you. You had the opportunity to prove yourself, and you have the opportunity to get to managerial position. So then you can work full-time and get even a better salary. So again, it's very hard for me to give exact numbers, and my role is not really to make you dream with high salary, because every student have different salary depending on their role, depending on their responsibility, depending on the hotel, their position. But I would say that students after graduating for their first employment during the OPT are usually making between $40,000 and $60,000 a year, okay, which is in average approximately $4,000 to $5,000 per month. So you have the ability not only to pay for your living expense, but also to pay back some of the money that you may have spent during the first year. So the whole goal of our vision here at Vatel USA is to give the opportunity for international students who may not think that they have the ability to come and study in the US, may think that it's impossible to do, but they have the ability to do it because of that financial model, because of that work and study program. So it's very, very important. Does any of you here present in that presentation have already done an internship in the US? If so, you know, I would love to know who and where you have worked in the US, if you have done an internship in the US.
So right now, from the questions we had about, you know, the country of origin and if the students have been in the USA, we have one student, Pierre, is currently studying in the USA. I believe Gaia didn't answer for the being in the USA, but Lian, Safa, and Javo Hirbek have never been to the USA. So maybe they are interested to know, how it is to live and work in the US. If you have any questions, Leah, Safa, Javoich, just let us know in the chat.
And so I'd like to know, does any of you have already done an internship in the US? Please feel free to answer, and we'll try to make this presentation as interactive as possible. I think that's how we learn, and that's
I'd be interested to know about your expectations also, how do you, if ever you enroll and we welcome you in the Battelle USA, what are you expecting? What are the things that, make you make the move, or maybe things that, you want to know before you get you get the big step?
So Safa, there is a question here from Safa, who I believe is from Tunisia. Welcome, Safa, and thank you for posting your question. So did all the students you had found internship? Yes. So the answer is yes. What we do, and Natalie is in charge of that, is that we have a list of partner hotel that we work with year upon year, and we work with them for now like almost 15 years. And they have different positions. Now, every student has different expectation. Some prefer to work for a 5-star hotel. Some prefers to work for a boutique hotel. Some prefer to work in the F&B departments. Others in a more administrative position. So I will have to be very, very clear and honest with you. All of the students after arrival and after the first 2 months, and I would say 95%, find a position through the relationship that we have with hotel partners. Other students have the ability to find their own position. And then we always have every year and 1 or 2 students who have very specific or different expectations. They might, want to only specifically work for a marketing department in a hotel. And we have to be honest, it's very hard while you are students to work in the marketing department of a hotel. Because when you think about it, let's take the Peninsula in Beverly Hills, right? They have a marketing department, maybe with 1 employee. And if they have a position, it's going to be in marketing for an internship. They might have only 1 position, but you're also in competition with American students. Because the English needs to be completely perfect, fluent, and on the other hand, they have many position operationals in the hotel that the students can get. So really, we have to be honest that the first year during the part-time and during your study, most positions are operationals, and they lead to managerial position when the student become full-time, usually in the 2nd year. Some students now can choose to become full-time before the 2nd year, and they might get, quicker managerial position. But usually the first year is operational. So to answer your question, as long as your expectations are reasonable, and that's very important. We don't want, again, to sell dream, but all the students that we have found internship as long as their expectations are reasonable, and then they evolve through the rank. We had cases of students that say, arriving, I want to be a director, I want to be a manager. No, even if you have had, let's say, Safa, in your case, experience in Tunisia and worked for 3 or 4 years in a hotel, and that might be the case. I'm not sure, I haven't seen your resume. But you have to understand that when you arrive to the US, you get to know a new culture, a new way of managing a department, a hotel, a food and beverage department. So you have to start, I'm not going to say at the bottom because it's not the case, but you have to start at a position which has reasonable expectation before you have opportunities. So again, everything here in the US is based on opportunities. So yes, students find internships as long as they are reasonable with their expectation.
Mhm.
Um,
And Naomi, who already had an internship in Kansas City, Marriott Downtown in 2019.
Yes. So, Nayoni, I am glad that you are attending Vatel Madagascar. I think it's an amazing school, and I'm sure you will have great opportunities if you decide to join the program here. If you don't mind, and you can answer by text saying yes or no, would you mind maybe telling everyone here, and we'll give you the microphone, how was your experience in an internship, and what was the biggest difference between doing an internship here in the US compared to in Madagascar? Do you mind maybe giving your experience to other here? And Radhika, maybe if you can give the microphone to Nayoni.
Yep, I've allowed her to talk.
Hello, Naomi. I think you're on mute still. Maybe Radhika can remove the unmute function.
Or maybe Naomi doesn't feel really like giving her experience.
Yeah.
All right, Naomi, it's okay. But I think it would have been nice to hear, because most of the feedback that we have from students doing internship here compared to their home country is really the way they have been, how do you say, like introduced to the hotel team.
Rodrigue, I'm
Yes.
so sorry to interrupt you, but she's saying I can't have access. So I don't know if she's not able to, or
Okay.
she wants to talk, but
Okay, well, that's okay. But what I was saying is that one of the key difference is that the students really feel that they are very welcome to the working environment in American hotel. Hotelier and managers here in the US are very open to host international students. They really make them feel like they're home, that they are valued, for what they do. And usually the relationship that builds between the interns and the employers is a really good relationship, where you can feel that the hotel manager is acting as a mentor for the students, helping them grow in their career, giving them advice. And even further, after they leave, we have many hotel brands. And again, we can talk about the Four Seasons, we can talk about Peninsula, we can talk about Waldorf Astoria, where once you finish your 2 years working in that hotel, they will try to keep you within the same group, whether it's in your home country, or whether it's to travel in another country where they have the same brand hotel. So they will work with you, help you, so that, through management, what they call management in training program, where they send you in different hotels throughout the world to work with. So we had many cases of students who, for example, the Peninsula, we have a student right now who works at the Peninsula in Paris. We have one who went to Asia. And the HR director of the Peninsula Beverly Hills, her name is Nancy Kupka, was very, very helpful in that process. So not only you gain experience here, but you build relationship. And one of the key that you will learn here at Vatel Los Angeles or Vatel San Diego is the importance of networking in the industry. The hotel industry, even though it's a huge industry, but on another aspect, it's very small and everyone knows everyone. The general manager from the Peninsula or the Waldorf Astoria, Los Angeles, will know the general manager in Paris, will know the general manager in Manila. They will communicate. They go to international fairs where they meet on a yearly basis. So we will work with you also through our professors, through Natalie, to make sure you understand the positive aspect of networking and how you should do it, to making sure you have better opportunities. In the US also, if I may, I can talk, I don't know if you're familiar with a different type of visa to be able to work, but there are possibilities after you graduate and after you do your OPT. There is a visa called H-1B, which is a 3-year visa, which some of our students apply through their employers to be able to stay and continue their career in the US. So obviously this is probably too early to talk about, but it's important to know to students that they do have opportunities. It's not an easy process. The employer, first of all, has to sponsor you, and so you have to be really a key employee for them to be willing to keep you for an additional 3 years. But there are possibilities, and we have obviously students who have stayed in the US, international students. I think I've browsed most of the subject of the working environments, the opportunities and the possibilities as far as visa. And I'd like really right now to take any question regarding the admission process, regarding the academic aspect of the program or the work aspect of the program. So please feel free to ask your question in the chat room or question and answers. And either myself, Jessica, Radhika, Natalie, you can ask any of us any question.
Of course. And I wanted to add also, a very important aspect of with the internship programs is the hotels really value the Vatel interns, especially when they are coming from other Vatel schools and they have the bachelor and this whole education that is, really valuable. And the hotels really appreciate welcoming international interns in their team. As they say, it's like new blood in the team. And they really appreciate having dedicated workers as interns who are passionate about the industry, who wants to learn, who are really flexible, and they are a great addition to their team. And that's why, in this country, when you have a good attitude, when you want to learn, you want to succeed, it's not unnoticed. Usually the manager will recognize someone who has potential. And within the 2-year program, that's really the opportunity to grow, to bloom, and to get to the positions that you really want and ready for your career after graduation. The doors open wide usually. So I wanted to really emphasize on the fact that the hotels are really appreciative of the Vatel interns.
So we have a few questions here in the question and answer. So Safa, thank you again for your question. You said that your English is not perfect like Americans, and we don't expect it to be perfect. We understand most of our students have a good English level, but not necessarily completely fluent, and obviously not like an American. So it shouldn't be a problem for the internship. Anyway, what we do through the registration and application process, you will have a one-on-one Skype, Zoom, or Teams interview, a video call, where you're going to discuss your goals, your expectation, and this will take place in English. And we will be able to tell you, based on your English level, the type of position that you can expect when you arrive in the US. So we will help you with that, and it's not an issue. As far as Liane, you asked, when will you have an answer when you are accepted or not in the program? That's really depends on when you apply and for what intake. But usually you get an admission response really quickly as soon as you have filled out all the application, given all the documentation, your transcript, to our admission team. And maybe Jessica, you want to explain a little bit the process, but usually the admission letters goes out really quick.
Sure. So once you, the first step in the process is, if you haven't done so already, is to get in contact with one of us on the Battelle team. You will submit an updated CV or resume, program interest form, and a 2-page letter of motivation that explains your career and academic goals. And like Rodrigue said, you'll have a one-on-one meeting. And that's just really going over all the program in depth, answering any questions that you have. At that point, if the program is right for you, if it's a good fit, that's really kind of what we're assessing, is if it's a good fit for you. Then we walk you through the entire process from beginning to end. So you will apply online with Alliant International University, and we work with them hand in hand. So everything that you're submitting on your online application to Alliant, we see that as well, and we can help follow up with that. And there's a series of documents that we can send you that you need to submit with your application. The hardest, longest part of the process is just getting those documents submitted. Sometimes some things come up, but if you can get those documents submitted quickly, typically Alliant is really fast, and especially with the Battelle students, they tend to have a little bit of a priority in time with admission. So that's nice. So once you have everything submitted, it takes about, we say up to 2 weeks, but it's usually much faster than that to get your admission decision. So if you are waiting and you think something is off or whatever, just reach out to us. We can take a look and see and help move things along. The other thing that I saw too, and Natalie, maybe you can answer this, is about housing, on where students typically live, whether it's better to live closer to your internship or to the campus. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, absolutely. Usually I would say it's better to live closer to your work. It's easy for the commute, and this way you can avoid being late, especially if you take the bus or if there are traffic. So I would say definitely closer to your job. Now, when you arrive in the US starting the program, you may not know where you're going to be working yet. So usually what the students do is that they would take a Airbnb or maybe a cheap hostels and look around. Most of our partners are located in Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, and downtown. So, if you know a little bit Los Angeles, Culver City, or around the campuses of USC or UCLA's, where there are a lot of students housing options also, that could be a nice option, definitely. And we try to facilitate also the housing for the students. We put out a Google Sheet where the students arriving can put what they are looking for, if they are looking for roommates, if they are looking for a studio or whatever. And the departing students who are leaving their apartments also have access to the Google Sheet and can say, okay, I'm leaving my room. If anyone is interested, you can take over my rent or things like that. Sometimes it's it's more or less difficult to find housing, but at the end of the day, it's everybody managed, and it's also easier to share an apartment or a house with other students. Also, on the enrollment side, to complete what Jessica was saying, so of course, if you don't have an answer from Alliant about, after maybe 2 weeks, obviously let us know. Leanne, I know you are already enrolling, and I'm going to definitely follow up with you. Also, the other thing to know is that on the visa side, when you do your enrollment, Alliant will verify your documents, both for the academic program, but also for your visa. And once your application is accepted, then they will issue your I-20, which is the document you need to get your F1 visa at the US Embassy. But they cannot do that before 120 days before the start dates of the program. So that's basically 4 months before the program start date. So do not also be impatient or anything as far as your visa. The documents will start to be issued within the 4th month before the start of the program. Do we have other questions?
I just want to, oh, I don't know. Is there another question? What you were going to read, Natalie?
About Duolingo and the English test?
Yeah, I think Jessica answered those questions in writing. She put the number of points that you need to get on those texts.
It's good to know for those who do not have access to the Q&As that Alliant accepts, all the English tests like TOEFL, the yields, and but they also accept Duolingo, which is an online platform. It's a website where you can get your English test done at home, so it's very convenient. And if you have an education already as a bachelor level in English, then you only need a letter from your school and you won't have to pass the English test because you already have an academic program taught in English.
Well, I think we're gonna be close to ending this this presentation unless anyone has more question. I just want to emphasize to everyone that please do not hesitate to email us, contact us. If you have any other questions, we can obviously set up a one-on-one call or video conference. And please know that all our team here present today and other member of our team are really eager to host you in the United States. The program at Vatel Los Angeles and Vatel San Diego is not a huge program where we don't know the students, we don't know what they do, where they're coming from. We have approximately 50 students per a year, and we tend to really individualize the services that we provide in terms of placement, making sure we understand your expectation, making sure we understand your professional project, and we'll work with you to make it successful during your study and afters. You will have the benefits to have the alumni network, the Vatel Worldwide Alumni Network once you graduate, obviously, but also the Alliant International University network of alumni throughout the US. So this is also something very important to consider when registering into a program, that you have an individualized program that that you will be taken care of, and that you will have also a great experience. So again, we thank you for attending this presentation. And I think we're gonna end the presentation now. I don't know if Natalie or Jessica or Radhika wants to add something, but again, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be in contact with you and being able to share useful information for your future. It's a big step, when you decide to spend the next 2 years of your life doing a master's degree. It's a big step, but I think it's a good one. I think the program offers amazing opportunities that are life-changing, and I can say so because I have a lot of testimonials from our graduates all over the world who have an amazing career right now. So don't hesitate to contact us, get in touch, and I also have some messages here in the Q&A. Safa will get back to you, and Liana will follow up also. So we are very dedicated to each of our students. You are not numbers, you are really potential successful manager in our eyes. So thank you again for attending. I look forward to hopefully welcoming you in Los Angeles very soon this year. Jessica, would you like to add something?
No, I think that wraps everything up. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be reaching out to you too for participating in this webinar. But please reach out. We could answer any questions you have, and especially I know there's a lot of questions about housing. We can answer that one-on-one, but we also have arrival guides that go through the different neighborhoods in the LA and San Diego area. So any questions at all, just reach out.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rodrigue, Jessica, and Radhika. Thank you, everyone. And maybe we'll meet again either in Los Angeles, San Diego, or on the web. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.